Good morning. Good morning. Just wanted to make a video. So last night I missed out on a big play, but I'm still, obviously I'm naturally upset, but the play I got in last night, I got in at 425, which was a terrible entry, but ADD. I was using what was I using? I was using the 10-minute chart, and I bought at the end of after hours right here, which looks puny in comparison to what you see now, but before, it was already up 20%, and then I bought at the end of this 10-minute candle here. But I bought it because we've been seeing reverse. We saw yesterday, we saw PRFX, BJDX, SLXN, and PWM as in Mary, all reverse split plays under $1 million float in the healthcare sector, have morning spikes, and then on top of that, we've been seeing stocks go from 2 to 7, 2 to 8, 2 to 10. So, and then on top of that, we saw PRFX and BJDX drop a PR after hours saying they got compliance, and then they spiked the next day. So that's essentially all that happened with ADDD. It was in the price range. It was under $1 million in flow. It's a recent reverse split, and it dropped the PR. So as soon as it dropped the PR, I bought it. And unfortunately, this whole spike here that you see to 10 happened at 5 a.m. And I have Thinkorswim, and I can't trade this early. So when I got in front of the computer around 7, it was all the way back down here, and then it broke my entry, and I just got out. I knew it wasn't going to bounce back to VWAP. I mean, it's Chinese, and I knew that there was a possibility it was going to do this at 5 because it's Chinese and it's garbage. But I was just hoping I'd get lucky, and unfortunately, I didn't. But I'm super happy that I identified a detailed pattern, and then everything in the stars aligned. And I think that's like the biggest takeaway from this is like when so many stars align and when it's so similar to what's happening the previous days, that's your best chance of winning, in my opinion. If the pattern is in play, you have a chance of winning. And I just want to hop back to ALBT kind of off that point of we've been seeing stocks go from 2 to 7, 2 to 8, 2 to 10. And we've been seeing them go from 2 to 7 in pre-market. They fall down, and then they bounce back up to pre-market highs. So ALBT is the latest example. Now, just like Roland was saying on the webinar, now this one's a little kind of weak, kind of dead. This one, to me, now it kind of just seems like a fader. We saw RKDA do the same thing, but it bounced like around the 6 area. Roland says he likes the 5 area. And this one's just kind of like fading down to 450, maybe even 4. So I don't think, and it's already 1040. So I'm kind of at trading hours that I don't even want to partake in right now. And so I'll probably let this one go now that I see that. But back to kind of my original point. I was talking in a video that I made last night that like, I feel like the pattern being in play honestly trumps most other things. So when I look at trades, I kind of have this list of things that I'm looking at, right? So risk reward, pattern being in play, volume, dilution tracker, price action, catalyst, float. Is it a pattern that I know personally, and are the markets hot or not, right? I'm looking at all of these things, and I feel like risk reward would be the first number one. That would be number one, right? Is if there's no risk reward for me, it doesn't matter if the pattern's in play, it doesn't matter If it's a good pattern, if there's no risk reward, then I can't really get into it. But the pattern being in play, I feel like, is number two. And you could even argue number one. Like, if the pattern is not in play, I don't even know if I want to even consider it at this point. Unless it's just so perfect from a risk reward standpoint, I guess, right? And that's why maybe risk reward's number one. But like volume, dilution, price action, catalyst, flow, is it a pattern I'm familiar with? And are the markets hot? Like, I feel like pattern in play trumps all of those. Because if the pattern's not in play, in my opinion, essentially we are just playing small picture price action. And I talked about it with my trade that I lost, I think it was SRM. Yeah, on this afternoon breakout. We haven't been seeing afternoon pushes. So essentially, all I was playing here was small picture price action. Oh, it's a percent gainer, it's consolidating at support, and now it's perking in the afternoon. That equals an afternoon breakout. Yeah, it does. But we haven't been seeing afternoon breakouts or pushes, whatever you want to call them. So without that macro, I'm just playing a small picture idea. And if the pattern's not in play, I just don't think it's even worth looking at. And I think when it comes to me being a new trader and just trying to focus on like what's it, really good setups and like what's in play, I don't feel like I need to look at anything else other than what's in play. And not only does that weed down the things I need to be looking at, which is nice, but I think it also gives me a little bit more risk. For example, with ADD, I wouldn't typically buy a candle at the top of a stock that's up 20%. But since the pattern was in play, I was willing to do so. I was willing to take on a little extra risk knowing that this thing could go to $8. In this case, 10. Right? I was talking about it with RKDA yesterday. Typically, I'm not going to buy something that's bouncing at kind of a random level and is already up a bunch. But we've been seeing stocks go from 2 to 10. So why not take the risk? The pattern, even if you lose, and again, you obviously still need good risk reward, right? So again, our risk reward could be the number one most important thing. You still need good risk reward. You can't just buy anything anywhere. But even if you lose, at least you could say, I have risk reward from a number standpoint, and I have risk reward because the pattern has been happening. We've seen all week these stocks going from 2 to 8. So why would I be trading anything else other than stocks going from 2 to 8? If that's what we've been seeing. If the biggest percent gainers of the day are coming from stocks going from 2 to 8. And that's why I got an ADD yesterday, because there was 3% gainers. PRFX, BJDX, and CDIO, all reverse split plays, were percent gainers. And 2 of them went from 2 to 10 and had PRs of compliance news after hours. And then, sure enough, ADD did the same exact thing. Price range, low float, reverse split, PR, compliance news. And I just feel like pattern in play trumps everything. It just trumps everything, right? So looking at ALBT right this second, would I typically buy this? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't buy this thing that's gone from, 3 to 8, 3 to 7, is clearly just fading. It's nowhere near support. It's not near support at this 4 level. But since we've been seeing this, I don't think a push to VWAP is unrealistic. I don't think it's unrealistic at all. And if this is I've been using the 10-minute chart. Oh, okay, so it's about to close in the 10-minute chart. It's kind of weak. And it's 10:52. But my point still stands of like, normally I would not even be looking at this. I wouldn't even be paying this any mind. But now I'm like kind of interested. We have this is the 10-minute chart, by the way. We have the same low, 441. It has faded a lot, and we have seen this pattern. So if I got in at 460, risking 441, playing something that's in play, I can't be mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. You know, and I mean, as we do this, I literally think I'm going to buy this right now. I honestly think I'm going to buy this. I've been switching to the 10-minute chart, by the way, but I still want to see the 1-minute chart. We're kind of out of support line. This support line I made is the daily support, but yeah, no, I mean, I really would prefer this level. But where'd the volume come in? I don't know. I might buy this. I really, but and it's hard because I don't buy stocks at 1050 that are fading. I don't, but we've been seeing this pattern. So you know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. Just going to kind of confirm one more on the minute chart. Let's look at the 3-minute, 5-minute, and look at the 10-minute. Now the 10-minute candle is kind of weak. It's the only thing that kind of concerns me. So I'm going to wait maybe. We did see some higher low here and then it fails. So I don't want to depend on the 1-minute high or low. But it is kind of giving me conviction, and we're kind of seeing this little perk here. So, you know, if I do 468, the low is 441. So I think I'm going to do it. So I'm in at 467. Risking low day. And if we could get to VWAP, that would be fantastic. That would be the goal. So, and again, I don't like doing this, but if I lose, I won't even be mad because we've been seeing these. We've been seeing this pattern. So, in my opinion, I have a macro on my side, right? I have a macro on my side of we've been seeing this pattern. right? And I have good risk reward, right? I have good risk reward. So I just can't be mad. I can't be mad at it. And again, I don't like all the other I don't like the other things of like the time and kind of the price action that it's fading and stuff. But I think I'm going to stick my ground and just say the pattern in play kind of trumps everything. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. I'm going to just have my order ready here. And ultimately, I may have just bought a fader, and maybe I should have waited, and maybe the pattern's over, right? And and like Roland said, it's not kind of playing out as we would like, right? It is just kind of fading, and it's not at 5. It's at this thing, but again, I'm not mad at taking a low risk trade on a macro that's been happening this entire week. I'm just not. So we have a low a day set. And again, I'm only looking for a push to VWAP. Right. I'm not looking for high a day. Yeah, so this probably isn't going to work. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm really, really, really not mad. I think if anything, if I do lose, I made a video about not buying faders until the afternoon, right? And again, it was something I was willing to bypass based off of the macro of the patterns. So, but maybe after this, maybe that rule still applies. So it is just part of the learning process. But I'm not that mad if this fails, which looks like I'm gonna have to cut here any second. been switching to the 10-minute chart because I feel 15-minute chart in pre-market and 10-minute, and I say switching, I like literally the past day or two. Because I feel like it just weeds out a lot of the BS on the minute chart, and you can still get decent entries. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut here. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to cut. I don't feel like I even need to wait. Yep. So just cut. And yeah, I really don't mind. Because of everything I said, I don't need to repeat myself. So that's that. Let's just confirm how much. So I think about 6%. Yeah, not even. About 5.5%. So I'm totally fine with that. We'll kind of see if it reverses now, but it's 11. Time for me to step away from the computer. There's nothing else on my radar. There's literally nothing else on my radar for today. We'll just recap the percent gainers. UPC, I saw it was Chinese. This one fit a different price pattern, so that's that. GXAI, AI sector, this did have a nice morning reversal. But different price range, so I just wasn't really, but the AI sector is moving, just not really looking at subgroup momentum right this moment. And then ALBT, big percent gainer, the 2 to 8 thing, right? But I feel like this could be the sign of it now dying, the pattern, right? This one's not really working, it's fading, right? It's a slower day today, right? So yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. So that's that. Really nothing else is on my watch. Nothing else is on my watch. So today is done for me. I'll see you guys later.